That's not meant to work. This isn't going to be fun, but that will help. It could be painful for a year. This is part of the effort to improve flow in and out of this community. So it will be freeway from I-15 all the way to 4100. That'll help the flow out here tremendously. You already feel the difference north of 98th right now, but that'll be a big difference as far as the flow in this area once this is done. So we got to get through it, but it'll be nice when it's done.
Welcome to Herrimanology,
the official podcast to keep up with Herriman City.
We'll take you inside the city, explore the latest news and updates, show you how your government operates, and discuss the issues that affect us all. Now, here are your hosts talking all things Herriman on Herrimanology.
All right, welcome to Herrimanology. It is Thursday, October 3rd, and even for the stubborn summer lovers like me, it is fall.
Doesn't feel like it.
No, it's hot, but it is fall. The leaves are turning somewhere.
Somewhere. Well, I'm headed to Vegas this weekend. 104. 104 in Vegas in October.
That's awesome.
So we booked October because we didn't think. Anyway,
was gonna be
it's going to be hot. Yes. Still hot. This is crazy.
Have fun with that.
Yes.
We're going to go in the mountains Saturday morning at sunrise to see the leaves before all the other leaf peepers go.
Leaf people, I love it.
And hopefully we'll get to
Get
see
ahead
some
of it.
leaves.
I love it.
I'm John LaFollette, Communications Manager for Herriman City, joined today by Mayor Palmer. How are you doing?
Good to be here.
Good to be here as well. Speaking of fall, let's talk about the Herriman Howl coming up on Monday, a favorite fall tradition. I love the Herriman Howl, which, if you know me, is semi-significant because I am not a Halloween person. I really don't like. I'll stop short of saying I hate Halloween, but the creepy and the gory and the gross and the decorations,
just not your thing.
Spiders and not my thing.
Okay.
I get teased around the office all the time, and it's warranted. I love the Howl.
It's a fun event.
It's super fun. I mean, if nothing else, the kids in costumes are just adorable and going trick-or-treating. But why do you like the Howl? And maybe we'll go through bullet points on the website, which you can go to herriman.gov/events. And you can find it on there. But why do you like the Howl?
I love the Howl. We pack so much in Crane Park here out in front. There's so much to do. Like we were just talking, I tried to get through it all last year. I couldn't get through everything, but there's something for all kids of all ages, adults of all. There's just something for the whole family out here in the park. It's just it's my favorite event too. We do. I mean, I love town days. But that's spread out over the week. This is just 3 hours of anything you want. It's here. Everything for the family. I just love seeing everybody out and celebrating our community.
So I'm going to read down the bullet list of main activities of the Howl. This is from our website, so I'll save you a trip if you really don't want to go there, but you probably should. Herriman.gov/events. Interactive pirate ship. I'm actually not sure what that is about, so I'm
excited to see that.
I'm as curious as anybody. Animal riders, backed by popular demand. A pumpkin walk, local business, games, and trick-or-treat. That is a great source for trick-or-treating candy.
Yep.
Skeleton scenes contest, back again. A lot of the skeleton scene entries are by city departments. There are others by other businesses or the groups around the city. Super fun.
My famous new addition. My favorite new addition. Yep.
Yep. A DJ dance party, a dog costume contest. People love that one.
That was a fun one.
Cemetery theater showing movie shorts, Scales and Tales, rock wall, photo booth and ops, farmers marketplace, children's marketplace, and food trucks. So
that's a lot.
That's in about 3 hours.
Right.
The start time has been moved up a little bit to allow people to try to catch more than they have
if you want to get ahead of the crowd.
So it starts at 5 o'clock. It's at Crane Plaza, Crane Park, right here next to the City Hall. Worth noting, too, this will be the last Hungry Herriman of the summer in the farmers marketplace.
Yep.
So that happens at the same time as the Howl, which adds to the atmosphere. But that ends on Monday. So
be fun. Looking forward to it.
Yesterday we posted, I'm laughing because it predictably generated a lot of comments.
Went about it like we expected. Yes.
So we, shared information from UDOT, not us, but that 134th South will not be able to cross Bangerter Highway starting in about a week and a half, and it'll last almost a year.
Right.
And this is painful. This has happened at pretty much every Bangerter interchange that they have converted into a freeway style. It's now 134th South turn. So you can go north-south on Bangerter through that area.
The light removed. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Notably, so stay with me here. Northbound Bangerter, turning left onto westbound 134th. That turn lane is crucial for Herriman drivers. UDOT recognizes that, and that will remain open for the whole project.
Yes.
I think this is the first time they've done things like that.
That's what we've been told. Yep.
They've normally shut off those kind of cross turns across Bangerter because it's really hard to do that freeway style conversion with that turn. Thankfully, they know that Herriman drivers really, really need that.
Right.
They're keeping it open.
Yep. So those would be the only signalized. My understanding, that'll be the only signalized aspect of that intersection. Now everything else will be free flowing. But yeah, that's a big. I know we're worried. This is not going to be fun, right? We're not. I mean, let's not mince words. This isn't going to be fun, but that will help. Like if your commute is, 134th to Mountain View or to Bangerter and going south, coming or going. I mean, that shouldn't change. Your commute should not change that way. So it shouldn't affect that. Northbound, if you have to go northbound, yeah, you're probably going to 126th. But we're trying to make every effort to. I mean, we're getting a lot of pushback saying we don't working on road. Like this is part of that effort to improve flow in. It's going to be painful for a year. This is part of the effort to improve flow in and out of this community that we've been working hard for. So we'll be patient. We're going to get through it. Not going to be fun though.
Yep. So kudos to UDOT. That's a massive project. They've done several of them. There are more to come in the future along Bangerter Highway, converting it to a full freeway. It's incredibly expensive, but now it's 134th South. So.
Right. And the bigger picture, they're doing the last three in this corner of the valley. 98th will be done, 134th and 2700 West. Yes. They're all being done right now. So it will be freeway from I-15 all the way to 4100 after this is done.
Yeah, I think
then
so.
Then it will be, because 47th is already underway too. So it'll be freeway to 41st. That'll help the flow out here tremendously. You already feel the difference north of 98th right now, but that'll be a big difference as far as the flow in this area once this is done. So we got to get through it, but it'll be nice when it's done.
Yeah, it won't solve all the traffic issues. We know that east-west connectivity is still a problem and frankly probably will be for a really long time, but this puts a major dent in the traffic issues that at least Herriman residents experience.
Yep, absolutely.
So a lot of people are wondering about 138th South as a not a massive roadway, but going east-west from Mountain View Corridor, crossing over into Riverton. A lot of people are curious about that because they look over as they're driving, they see the road's completed, but it's not open.
Right.
What can we tell them?
Well, really, right now there's a light being installed on Sentinel and 138th. We want that open.
We're still waiting for a utility company.
That's a utility company. That's beyond us. I mean, we're sympathetic to the residents in our neighboring cities, right? And the Riverton, Bluffdale, that this is new to them. There's also some efforts being made, from those cities to mitigate some speed, some concerns. So they're working through that, but that's not really what's holding this up right now. Everybody recognize it needs to get open. We're going to work on those issues moving forward. But really right now we're waiting for that stoplight because if there is traffic coming out of Riverton and Bluffdale to Sentinel, that could be a very busy intersection right away. So we don't want it just stop sign there. We need that signalized. We want it open before the closure. That's everybody out here wants that done. That is the goal. That is the intent.
So suffice it to say, we're not just sitting around in our hands and just, there's a road. Let's do something about it.
Right.
It's actively being worked on. It may not look like it, but that is at the top of our priority list.
And I understand the frustration, right? If the processes, sometimes we don't talk a lot about the processes because I'm still learning the processes sometimes, right, that go on. We want these connections. 132 was the same way when we were waiting for that. Like we want these open. We wouldn't have put priority in funding and push, political, weight behind these if we didn't want these open as well. We want them open just as much as the residents do.
Yeah. Going back to Bangerter for one moment, I've heard and seen comments and questions asking why it needs to be closed for a year because that is a really long time.
Yes.
There's a lot going on underground, but also above ground. That has been kind of an equal level Bangerter Highway 134 intersection with signals. 134th is going to be dug underground under the freeway, the Bangerter Freeway. Bangerter is going to have a bridge cut just like 126th South, 114th South.
Yep.
And that takes a lot of work and a lot of time. It's not something you can just kind of build off to the side and then slide in at the last moment. It's not quite that easy.
Right.
So 300 days, that they always talk about 300 days as the closure period. That's a really long time, but it does take that long to build that.
Utilities have to get moved. It's not just building a road. It's bridge work. You're building a bridge from underneath, really, and utilities have to be moved lower. It's a huge undertaking that they've already started. If you look over there, it's already underground work happening off the sides there. They're doing it. If they were to just do it on weekends, it would take years, right? And I think it's, for me, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get it done. It's going to be a painful 300 days to a year, but let's get it done and be moved on from this.
Yeah, and I might have misspoken. I can't remember which road goes under the other. I haven't looked at a map in a little bit,
right?
But one of them will go under
it's not
the
going to
other.
be go high. It's not going to go higher. It's going to be, yes.
Correct.
Yep.
So that's something that a lot of people are very curious about, understandably, and that's going to start, I think, October 14th is when
some closures through the weekend next
starts.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not going to be fun, but it will be next year when it opens.
Yes, it will. We'll look forward to that.
Last night was a planning commission meeting. The most significant item, they were talking about the master development agreements and for the South Hillside developments, Rosecrest, Wasatch South Hills, Panorama. We've talked about it a few times on here. But what was the update last night? It wasn't a city council meeting, it was a planning commission meeting, but what did we see from that and what's the next step?
They're just making their final recommendations on this. I think this is the final step before they come to the council on this whole big process. So it's really we're tying these all together, like we've talked on this podcast before, tying these MDAs together to bring in one big master development. There are some concerns because there are development, to me, unfortunately, is getting closer to the base. We've tried to protect that buffer away from the base. There's land rights, there's property rights, that have been entitled to get up there close. So they're wanting some assurances to future residents up there that they know that they're moving in next to a base right out of the gate, so it's not a surprise to them. So really, it's just fine-tuning the details, encouragement just to plan together better on the MDAs. But I think as it comes to council, we'll work through a lot of that still.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it several more times on this podcast as it progresses, but that's kind of the next step. And now it goes to the city council, and we'll have more discussion about it.
Yep. Yes, we will, I'm sure.
Downstairs in the city hall is a pretty cool exhibit put on not by the city but by the Friends of Herriman. You've kind of perused around a little bit. Mm-hmm. What did you see? Oh my word,
I had no idea. I mean, I'd heard this was coming, right? But I had no idea the impact it would have until I walked in yesterday and saw it for the first time. These are a variety of residents in the community that are really, we've got a lot of people in this community that work behind the scenes and don't get credit, don't get recognized. They call it Herriman Smiles. It's just the faces of some of these residents to show the great people here, their story behind them. One of my favorite is we talk about this Jim Kineski that waves to everybody as he's running. Everybody asks about him. I swear, Herriman Happenings, that's a weekly post. Like, who is this guy? Come, he's featured. You can hear his story. So rather than just the guy that waves, come here and learn about Jim and who he is. There's, a few other people in the community that just are doing amazing work, and please come check it out. It's open, during the day. They're basically during office hours, 7:30 to 5:30 here during the week. Come just check it out. It's right in the lobby. You can't miss it. Just come read some of the stories about. I think there's 40 or so local, just residents. It's just a really cool thing. I love it, and hopefully this comes back every year, and we can highlight different people every year.
So as you come in, you're going to see a whole bunch of easels throughout the lobby. On each easel is a really high quality portrait photo of each of these people, and then their stories kind of next to them, and you can just kind of wander from one to the other, and it's pretty neat.
Yep, it's amazing.
So all through October during business hours.
Yep.
Finally, we've been kind of plugging for some questions, for No Dumb Questions,
right.
And we finally got one after last week's episode. So Alexis wrote, I have a question for you. I've seen the plans for the Juniper Canyon recreation area, and they look amazing. It's been a few years, and we haven't seen much progress. Is there a projected completion date? So a few years ago, we put out kind of a video or a presentation. I can't remember exactly how we presented it, of all the possibilities, things we were looking at for the Juniper Canyon recreation area.
Yep.
For those who aren't familiar with Juniper Canyon, it's kind of under Mountain View corridor over on the south hillside-ish. Trying to think of the best way to describe where it is, but if you're driving on Mountain View corridor, there's this kind of big ravine under the freeway, and there are some trails around there next to Providence School.
I was going to say just north of the Providence School.
There's some
south. Yep.
Yes, and there are some trails in that area. A couple of years ago, we opened a new trailhead, kind of at the bottom of that. And right now, we're working on expanding the trails up to the hillside toward the existing trails. So there has been some progress. It's not complete. It's one of those projects that's really expensive. There are a lot of phases, but it's becoming a pretty neat area.
Right, and it's like I said, it's all money. I mean, it seems like every time we talk about this stuff, it just comes down to funding. We're trying to get grants. There is some stuff in the budget for the next couple of years to take on additional phases, but it just comes down to money and the need for money. And I think if we had endless supply of money on this, we'd build all these amazing parks, right? We love our parks, we love the trails, but so we're working on it. We want it, so probably still a few years over, a couple more phases still to go.
So next year, we're hoping to construct a new phase that will have more trails and hopefully a disc golf course.
Yep.
This is not a formal announcement. This is a
Right.
hope and something that we're kind of planning on. But I know that's something that people ask us about pretty regularly. Is disc golf ever coming back?
Because we took
Hopefully.
it down. We had it and we took it down. It's
Yeah.
becoming an issue in the neighborhood, and we think we might have found a home. Like I said, nothing official, but we think we might have.
Yeah, and there will be more phases beyond that. Of course, always budget pending, but that's in the plans.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
okay, well, that's all for this week. Hopefully it doesn't cool down too much, but hopefully it cools down a bit.
Yeah.
Enjoy Vegas.
I want some fall weather. I just like some 70s for a few weeks. I
Yeah.
would love that.
As long as it doesn't go into winter too quickly.
Not quick. Nope, not at all.
So anyway, as always, send us in any questions you have. We'll address them in a future episode. There are no dumb questions.
Nope.
Even if you think it's dumb, we'll answer it anyway.
Yep.
So thank you for listening and watching. We'll catch you next time.